Boona, where are we? Are we at the stream? We're at the stream. We're on Route 9 in the town of Cummington, Massachusetts, and we're on or near the stream. And we're gonna walk down a little bit till we get out into the river a little bit more while avoiding as much poison ivy as possible. Wonderful. Speaking of geology and natural environments and so on and so forth, this is a nice little spot. What am I hoping to find? That's a good question. What am I hoping to find? I'm hoping on getting farther out into the river to look at the potential of forage. And what I'm looking to forage isn't anything significant. There's a nice path. I should have just walked down that. That would have been really easy. Cement all the way down. Little potholes, love it. That shows me something about the environment. A little bit of turbulence here, which is good, but also little side pools. And in these side pools, not that I'm going to find any right here, right now, are likely crayfish and other fish. And I just saw something flit through here, so there are likely crayfish in here that I'm not seeing at the moment. The light is a good thing, but also very distracting. If I were to flip over a couple of these stones, I'd probably see either fish or maybe crayfish looking for or being curious about what is in the water for it and so on. So a stream like this in the shallows over there would be a good spot for them to hang out. Also in deep places, which over there where the water is moving a lot more slowly, crayfish are likely to hang out in deeper water where more debris falls out of the water column down into a lower spot. Crayfish are a great forage if you're looking for protein and you're in the Northeast and you have any kind of stream that doesn't have rock snot filling it and too much algae and is more than just a trickle. There's a really high chance that it's got, in places like that across the stream from me, I'm looking right now, there's a good chance that there are crayfish in there, and it's worth going from the low side to the high side. Never go from the high to the low, because all of the mud and things that you stir up upstream will end up clouding everything downstream. So start from downstream. Also, an animal that's underwater won't be able to sense you if you're downstream from it than if you're upstream. If you're upstream, it senses you coming. So there's your objective, is to get below things and to start on the low end and work your way up bit by bit. When you've gone all the way through, clear the area, go back to the beginning, wait for the water to become cloudless again, free and clear. Go through your catch and single out the tiny ones and throw them back, and then start working your way up again from low to high in a pool. And you're going to want to be able to see through the water, so having polarized glasses for one will allow you to not see the reflection as much, and also to be able to chase crayfish. And I'll demonstrate this later on. You have a stick in one hand, which is your poker stick, and a net in the other. It could be like a deep fry basket, a sieve, anything that's a net that has netting holes that are less than half an inch across, because they will go through half an inch and they'll flip right through it quickly. They move backwards primarily, so they skitter their tail in a curving motion like this really quickly, creating a cloud in front of them, which is distracting to anybody who's in front of it. You're scaring them up from the front, so you want their claws and their eyes and their feelers active. And as they scoot backward, you want to make sure and have that net right behind them, so that when they skid backward, you see a cloud and you immediately lift that basket, which will drain water instantly, and you've got your crayfish. Do that about 50 times in a row around the stones and you've got yourself a meal. Pick out the small ones and throw them back. You don't want them, you want them to grow up to a good size. In the Northeast, a good sized crayfish will have blue claws or brown claws, usually blue claws, be fairly large, and those claws will be, I don't know, around 2 or 3 inches long each. Or if they've been in a fight recently, one of them will be smaller than the other. And you want a tail that's at least from the middle of my index finger down, because that's where your primary meat is. There's some meat in the back, there's some meat up around the head, and there's some meat in the legs and claws. But for the most part, the meat is going to be in the back end, and they are good as long as they're freshwater and they're not diseased in any way. The diseased ones will go turn up pretty quick and be floppy in the water. If you find one that's soft shell, it just means that it's molted recently and switched shells. They do periodically switch out shells, and if you ever take one apart, underneath the back center down near the legs but inside, there are a pair of gastroliths, which are discs that are bowl in shape, white discs that enable the creature to produce calcium for its shell quickly when it molts. That's all I have to say about foraging crayfish for now, and understanding crayfish a little bit better. I have details of crayfish elsewhere, and I have their genus and species and so forth. This is the environment that you would find them in, and also a prime example of how to forage something that I won't actually forage, but I'll demonstrate where they can be found, how they can be found, how they're caught in a safe way, and how to kill them, and how to kill them quickly. Dropping them in boiling water is the quickest and most effective way of killing them, aside from lopping their head off on site. You don't want to have dead meat on the way home, though. That meat, once it's dead, will become stiff and inedible. So you want to kill them. You want to keep them in water and keep cold water running across them until such time as you're ready to boil. Get a pot of boiling water, rolling boil, and don't put all of them in at the same time. Their temperature will drop the temperature of the water. You want to make sure and keep the ones that are not in it yet, so a good handful of, say, 30 in a 3-gallon pot. No more than 30 at a time for cooking. Cook them until they float to the top and then take them out. We'll demonstrate that another time. We will eat crayfish. My daughter loves them, and we'll do that at some other point. But right now we're just looking at things, checking out the environment, looking at potential forage, and learning about algae and other things that are in the environment. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying curious, and thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Have a good day.